What's going on, everyone? This is Sheets with Adam Perry, and we're going to be going over a couple of things today. I don't know if Adam noticed, but there's a showdown slate.
I noticed
at 3:07 p.m. I noticed it a total of 4 minutes ago. So I put some lineups in, saved some dummy lineups. So I figured we'd do a little bit of this also. Maybe get Adam get some action going before the kids come back from wherever.
Yeah, that's right. I put a couple lineups in. I'm not going to play much, but
oh, nice. But you can walk me through kind of your process of what we do here. But first, I guess we'll take a look at the main slate for tonight, and we'll do again for those that are the uninitiated. Okay, for those who didn't realize, Bobby's out for like a little while. He's actually at the World Series of Poker right now, I believe, and so he's leaving it in charge of the animals, that being me and Adam, to kind of do what we want here. So we're very live to go on for like an hour without mentioning a single player's name or something like that, and just go into lineup construction, which is, considering how much time we spent on yelling at people for not playing Chase Burns yesterday. Probably it's a good idea for me to kind of just keep my mouth shut. As far
we
as
are going to mention relief pitchers for Showdown.
Oh, that's good. Oh, nice.
Jonathan Loaseja, or whatever the hell his name is.
Who?
I don't know, but I'm already. You got me going. So.
Oh, excellent. Okay, so I guess we could start with the main slate on DraftKings. So what we usually do is I do a build, he does a build. He usually does one set of projections. I might use another using a different system maybe. Just kind of see different ways to skin a cat here. So what we'll do is again, first thing that I like to do is I like to preload the lineups that I'm going to play. This makes it easier for me to have all the data saved in the contest sims. So if you're going to do that, you're in SaberSim, you just go to contest, upload entry, download from DraftKings, and then it saves it for you wherever you save your downloads, and it fires right up here. So I'm playing one in the big buy-in, 60 in the bat flip, one in the ball four, and one in the battery. And we're just kind of ready to go here. So I'm going to upload. Again, if you are a TrueDFS member, you have access to a couple of things. You have access to both SaberSim projections. You have access to mine, which are called TrueDFS. Maybe they're called TrueDFS. Maybe they're called Sheets. I'm not even sure what they're called anymore. And then Goldies, or you can average them. There's a lot of ways to skin a cat, so to speak. But for the purposes of this, I'm just going to use mine. And again, this is noon, but we don't care. I mean, this is part of the process. Before I run this, anything weather-wise that you noticed, or
there's a lot of things weather-wise.
What do we got?
Have you looked at Ross yet? So the early slate has major problems. We've got a lot of orange and yellow-orange tonight. We've got Tampa, yellow-orange. Mets are orange. Boston's yellow-orange. Atlanta's yellow-orange.
Yeah.
And Colorado is yellow, for what it's worth. So late start wouldn't shock him.
All right, let's.
There's almost so much weather that you don't have to worry about it.
Exactly. So right. So we're gonna play it the way Adam plays right now. We're gonna uncheck everything with stacks, and then we're gonna just tell it what to do. So we're only gonna play 5 3s, 5 2s, and I'll throw in 5 zeros.
You're gonna do okay. So I built your way.
Oh, awesome.
I built keeping them all on, so we would have identical stuff.
So we'll see what the difference is. So then we'll just build, and the default setting for today is 49,000 on SaberSim as far as salary goes. So I'm not going to make any changes there. I haven't even looked yet at my projections. I ran them, and then I didn't look at them. I mean, that's going to be next level. It's like run the projections, don't look at them. Upload the projections, don't look at them. Run the lineups, don't look at them. And then load the lineups, don't look at them. And then be like shady advice and wake up in the morning and see how much you want. You know what I mean? Like not even look at all.
Oh my God, yeah.
I can't do that. I mean,
it's my dream to be that way. That's like what I want to be.
No, I can't. I love sweating too much. You know, I love rooting too much. I don't know if I could do it. I hear about these people that they go to sleep and woke up and they won 100,000. You know, I hear about this. I don't know. It's just not. It's not in my thing. You know what? It comes from the fact that I've been doing the stock market for so long that like every single tick during the day like kind of matters. So I
Yeah.
kind of look at. I'm always kind of sort of at least looking at it, and then to the point where when I was backing people in poker, this is like really kind of psycho, but I would have like 50 people playing in like the World Series, like all these live events, and I would have everybody report their chip counts at every break. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Every break. And to me, that was like a concession because I wanted it like every hand, it's like
Right.
in my head. So,
The other thing about it is you need something to sweat while you're building LOL lineups.
that is very true. Well, there's no LOL. Unfortunately, like LOL is just kind of on
That's true.
hiatus until the.
Do you do tennis overnight or do you wake up and do it?
What, LOL?
No, tennis.
Oh, it depends on when it starts.
Yeah. I mean, you're supposed to do it right before lock, but it's hard.
Right. The 8:30 a.m. ones, I'll wake up for. If it's 6 a.m., I'll do it the night before and just hope. That's
yeah.
Kind of what it's like the LCK and LOL and
right.
Whatever. Okay, so I did everything. I used the Sims. I used 5-1s, and already before I even looked, I see like a guy I've never heard of. There's a picture here. This R Fitz. So we're gonna see who that is in a minute.
Oh, that's Richard Fitz.
Oh, we're gonna have all the 8-year-olds, the Beavis and Butthead, saying all day long. Great. Okay,
it's already old.
So I'm getting, as far as stacks go, 33% Angels, and then percentiles of Milwaukee, Cincinnati, Baltimore, San Francisco, Houston. What I'm not getting is the thing you mentioned earlier. Like I'm only getting like 14% Houston, like in Colorado. I presume just because it's anybody in Colorado, they're probably the most popular team, and they're probably going to project the best. But I'm getting Angels, Milwaukee, Cincinnati, Baltimore, San Francisco, Houston with a pretty decent overweight on the Angels. Now I'm going to guess before I'm looking. Does that mean that like Chris Sale is pitching for Atlanta, or it's just the Angels just look good?
All right, let's see. Atlanta.
Oh wait, and as far as pitchers go,
what is
Jacob deGrom 62%, and then Jeffrey Springs, and then the Richard Fitz, Grant Holmes. Oh, my old friend Tyler Anderson, 20% Tyler Anderson. We're back. We're back with more Tyler Anderson.
The question, I mean, if you could win back-to-back Tyler Anderson starts,
that would be legendary. On FanDuel, no less. How about that?
On FanDuel, yeah. But the problem is last time he was against Crochet. It was him or Crochet. Crochet pitched yesterday.
And Crochet outscored him by 30 fantasy points.
Yeah.
So I don't have to check the stacks because I already preordained them. 5-3, 5-2s, and 5-0s. So let me may as well have me share your screen and see what it looks like. I'll share mine, and then you can share.
Okay, let's share. Are you seeing it?
Yep.
Okay, so I should do what you do. I should X out everything but the 5s.
Well, I don't know. What are you getting without Xing out? I mean,
I get mostly 5s, but I get a few of these small ones. I don't know on a 10-game slate how much I want to play them. I don't want to play the 4-0s and the 3-3-2s and all that. I don't know. If those beat me, they beat me. If that's wrong, it's wrong. Now stacks for the 5 ends, it's Cincinnati. I'm pretty spread out.
Okay.
I'd say, but Cincinnati, San Fran, then the Angels. So I'm still with you on the Angels, kind of.
Yeah.
Kansas City, Oakland. No, I'm pitching. Where were you? I've got.
I had all the DeGrom.
Yeah, I don't have as much DeGrom. I'm a little slightly overweight.
More Springs.
Slightly overweight to the 44% DeGrom. So, yeah, it is what it is. Yamamoto against the White Sox. He's got to get ownership, right?
Yeah. So I wonder then if I were going to fill these. So again, right now I have 60 60 lineups in the lottery, one in the big buy-in, and the bat flip or whatever. Until you go over to the new system, which I've been messing around with a little bit. I'm meeting with Jordan. I'm meeting with Jordan, by the way, tomorrow. I have a couple of questions, and hopefully they'll solve. Like at this point, if I were satisfied with everything, I would. You have to pick whether to do direct fill or autofill, and just by the time I'm going to finally figure out what I want to do with this and what the real difference is, it's going to probably be obsolete and replaced by the new system, I think.
Right.
But basically, the idea with autofill is that you sort it in order here, and then it creates like 4 different like systems. Like it first with one little change, it'll sim everything. It already has, but it will sim everything against the Mega 8s because it's listed first. And because I have one lineup in, it'll put that best lineup for that one in first. And then what it's going to do, it's going to take that lineup out of the pool, okay? And then it's going to rerun it, the whole thing again for the ball 4, take the best lineup out. Well, put the one lineup in for ball 4, take that lineup out, and then similarly go down to single entry, and then the bat flip gets the top 60 that are remaining. So if you do it this way, you get the benefit of being diverse and all that stuff. The one thing you do risk is that, if in fact the best lineup in the bat flip was either going to appear as the best lineup in Mega 8's ball 4 battery single entry, you wouldn't get it in the bat flip. That's just the way this kind of system is. It's a little flawed, I guess, but in the name of diversification, I guess it's
I don't know if that's a flaw. It's
a flaw in that, like, I mean, it depends on what you think about portfolio management. I guess so. I guess it's not a flaw because if I'm sitting there, I'm in charge of my bat flip, right? All I get paid, it's like a corporation, right? It's a corporation. Yeah. Okay, I get paid on P&L on my bat flip, and you're telling me I can't have my freaking best lineup in the bat flip that's going to sim through the freaking roof, maybe?
Right.
Because some idiot wants it in his Mega 8 or something like that. How's that fair to me? So what happens is I'm actually just ranking these in a way that the CEOs of these companies are just more important to me. You know what I mean? Like it's more important to me to get the best lineup in the Mega 8 than it would be to get best lineup in the bat flip, just because it's worth $888 if I'm wrong, sort of.
Right.
But I mean, you can think of variations where that works out to be bad. Like if just for some reason, like the best lineup in the bat flip was like 700% better ROI in the next one, in that particular contest, and you wouldn't get it because that same lineup was 1% better than the next one in the Mega 8s.
Right.
Maybe, okay. But I think that in the name of diversification, I think this is probably kind of a good idea.
I think it is. The portfolio manager is going to answer this.
Exactly.
So we shouldn't worry too much. Now, one thing I have shared, I ran Goldie's projections and SaberSims. Now, if I use SaberSims projections, my pitching's all different.
Really?
I got 75% DeGrom.
Well, I guess what that's going to mean, well, you could check, but how are Goldie's numbers
let's see.
compared to that?
So SaberSims got him at 22.2. Goldie is he's 1 fantasy point lower.
Okay.
So you take the average down 1. That's going to just change so much how much you get. Let's see what the pool exposure is. You get 30% in the pool using SaberSim with 1 extra fantasy point. Let's see how many in the pool you have for Goldie. Pitching 26%. So you just get a little bit less in the pool with 1 fantasy point less, and you go from 75% down to 48%. You're not even the highest owned pitcher. So interesting.
So I want to ask your opinion on something. I forgot if I've ever brought this up with you. Let me reshare my screen here. And I've had this, a discussion or whatever with a couple of people on this. So I'm looking at the contest fields for the things I'm playing. I want to click on one of them. Let's just click on the bat flip, for example. It's using the flagship MME, and remember, like you're basing your contest sim process on the fact that you have a decent field to compare your lineups to, or a decently representative field, I should say, of that. So when you click on this, it's going to load the field that you are accepting as representative of what people are going to do, right? And I'll tell you, like, I never really got into the weeds of this, and I think Rio from Ship It Nation like kind of turned me on to this. Is that this time, like, you look at the stack exposures of what we think the field is going to do. I mean, this actually looks okay, but
is the field going to play that many 4-3s?
Right. So this is what happens. So I'm going to give you the answer in a minute. So when you look at, say, the bigger buy-ins, even let's say let's say the less entries. Let's do the single entry. No, let's do the mega eights, because I want to have a good example of it, because it was a really good example of it yesterday. And then I'm going to tell you what the issue is. Then I will tell you what the explanation was, and you tell me what you think of it. So it's still same thing. So 12% 4-2, 24% 4-3. So what I had been seeing, actually, and Rio pointed this out to me, that sometimes in the real big buy-ins and the small ones, you'll see that, like, the number one stack type in percentages is like a 2-2. Okay, yeah. Like 20% of them. And it made, like, literally no sense to me. And Rio was telling me, this is why you have to look at these things. So maybe, just sometimes you don't want to play the contest fields to stop ones they give you. And I actually brought that up to James. And while James is pretty gung-ho on criticizing other sites, whatever, I mean, but he actually had a pretty good reason why that's the case. And let me know what you think about this. Part of the argument against these contest fields is that they don't put in enough lineups that are bad, that people are whatever. And the explanation I was given was that that's how they take care of the 20% bad lineups, is to put like 20% like 2-2s and stuff like that in there. Not exactly sure I buy it yet. That's why it shows up that way. But I also don't know if I want to accept that as being represented in the field. You know what I mean? Like, so is it really going to be like 20% that much? And like you said, on a slate like this, is it really going to be 25% 4-3s?
Yeah, especially in the higher buy-ins. That's confusing to me. In the higher buy-ins, that there would be 20% bad lineups. Right.
But that's it. Well, is it bad? Because remember, because the bigger buy-ins also are smaller fields.
Right.
So you don't. But even still, I mean, so I don't know.
We can eyeball this. Let's look at past contests.
Right. So let's look at.
Like yesterday's.
Yesterday was a big one. No, yesterday was a smaller one. That was a 6-man. Let's do the one. What was the Friday? Was the enormous one, right? Yeah.
Friday was enormous. Yeah.
So let's go to the Friday one here. Let's see if by any accident it actually saved. Yep. Okay, so let's pull this up. And then I think
here's an idea that's wrong. It's wrong, but it may be directionally right or have something to it. Is if you are creating contest fields and you have your own, and you're going to have trouble creating enough bad lineups or the right amount of bad lineups, is there any merit in just creating a field with all good lineups, and you see how you do against the 5-mans, and you're going to beat the 2-2s anyway, whether there's 20% or 10% or 5%.
Well, again, that's what I like. That's my concept of tennis. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Is that just presume every lineup's pretty good?
Right.
All right. Let me just see. So this is the actual field of the big one with Will Warren or whatever, and let's see the stack exposure. There it is. 2-man, 2 zeros were 22%.
Okay. This is the flagship, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So we know. So the other good news is there's still edge in DFS.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Big
Yeah.
picture.
Yeah.
There's still money to be
That's
made.
still pretty amazing, though, right? Like,
It is amazing. Who are these people?
yeah.
Who are these people? The thing that's weird. Well, I guess it's not, but it's 5-3. It's 2-2 then 5-3.
Right.
Like, you think people would find other ways to screw up?
Let's look at yesterday. Because yesterday was a six gamer. We'll see.
Well, let's see the high buy-in.
For back to Friday, you mean?
Yeah, let's see the high buy-in.
Okay, let's go back to Friday then.
Because SaberSim's telling us that there's sometimes 20% 2-mans in the big buy-in on a huge slate. It's hard to believe, but
let's see. Okay, so in the perfect game, which is 333, let's click on it. Field lineups. Team stack. So stack exposure once again, 2 zeros. Pretty crazy, right?
This is what their field lineups are.
Well, right, but this was the contest, right? I mean,
so what actually happened in the contest?
Isn't that the way you look at it? I mean, I'm hearing contests.
No, that's what you're simming against a priori.
Well, hang on a minute. So let's take a look. But this has already happened here. So, like for example, when we click on it, I mean, it already has like the users and who everybody played here. Isn't this where you're supposed to be able to?
Yeah, let's see.
Again, I guess I'm not that.
Go to
great at this. Oh,
okay, perfect game. Yeah, this is what everyone played. So then go to users.
Okay.
And then there should be an option to sort by stack, right? At least there used to be.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let me go. I'm going to the SaberSim on mine too.
Okay.
If I find it, I'll share my screen.
Yeah, and worst case, I'll again. This is another note I'll ask Jordan about tomorrow.
Yeah, because we want to see. Okay, so SaberSim's field thinks there's going to be all those 2-2. So let's look at the. Should we look at the 333 they had that day? It's like 1,000 entries, 100K to first. That's like somewhere between high buy-in.
What are we looking at exactly? You mean?
I'm looking at the perfect game. The perfect game.
But you're looking at it. What do you mean you're looking at it?
I'm looking at what I'm trying to figure out.
What people actually played?
What the field actually did. So we can see the individual lineups. How do we see the stacks? Here we go.
Where are you? Where do I go?
Okay, go to. Let me make this full screen. Okay, so you're on users. Yep. Now go to projections. This little arrow right here. Yeah. Then stacks. Okay. So then go to stack exposure.
Okay, now this looks like
what people would actually be doing.
That's what we expect.
2% played 2-2s.
Right.
So
So Rio's point is accurate.
Correct.
You know what I mean? That they throw these 2-2s in, but it simply doesn't reflect reality.
Right.
So how do we improve? Like how do we make a better field in this? Well,
build our own, I guess.
Today you'll see that it did. You know what I mean? Like today, there are no 2 zeros. Or like 2 zeros. Maybe they made an improvement somehow, but it seems pretty coincidental.
Yeah. That's what's the right word? We got to be careful about this.
Yeah, absolutely.
We got to be careful about this.
Absolutely. You got to check you really got to check every time.
Yeah.
And you know, one thing you could do, and this is what I thought of doing, if you want to create, like you said, like a field of good lineups, you could create a field of good lineups, like using Saber Score and use that 5,000. You know what I mean? That's pretty good.
Yeah.
If you want to like if you want to be a little egotistical and think there are people that don't exactly do it that way, you could go into optimizer mode instead, and build
Yeah.
5,000 optimizer mode, and then they're good but not that good,
Yeah.
So
What if
that's
you?
possible.
How many? Let's see in the perfect game where they're how many are playing terrible stacks? 20 people play 2 twos.
That's
You
it.
get 18 twos. I mean, you still do get dead lineups. So
Yeah,
you have to build them. Yeah.
Yeah, but the fact is that if they're projecting 20% of lineups to be 2 twos,
Oh, I know.
and only like 0.05% were, then that was bad.
Yeah, it's also fishy that it's 20% 2 twos. Like I could see if it were 20% bad lineups,
right.
and it was various types of stacks, but why did it just load up on 2,000?
So I want to see what this would look like. So once again, let's just say that we want to wanted to do this a little bit. Let's say we wanted to build whatever. So right here, so this is my full build, okay, of the 5,000 lineups that I created, and just to see what that would look like, okay.
The other thing that's tough about this is when you're playing. I mean, it's not that you can't do it, but you're playing more than the flagship, so you got to build.
Absolutely.
You've got to build the field for every level.
Absolutely. But let's start somewhere. So let's just see what the overall field looks like what the stack exposure would be. Well, I actually see I preloaded the 5 threes and stuff, so that's not going to work. Okay. So instead we will allow everything. And then instead of using even Saber Sword, let's do what I said. Let's do like optimizers. Let's use optimizer mode with min uniques 1, and then we'll just do this and see what 5,000 lineups look like nowadays in optimizer mode. Now, you think that there'll be no stacks?
Yeah. Okay. So, there'll be some. I mean, no. The other thing we could do. Let's see what this looks like. Let's see what happens if we build a field with your ownership.
Right. Oh, I'm going to do that next. So
that's what we got to do.
This is no good. Hold on. Says you have to wait for the previous build before. So here's what I'm expecting, because this is something that Adam told me would happen, is that when you do that, it's building here. I was doing something else. Is when you do that, you don't get a lot of stacks for some reason.
Because
just based on ownership.
Yeah.
But what we could do is we could because again we're trying to figure out what people would play, not what they should, right?
Right.
And we could just again put based on my ownership, and then just demand nothing but 4 threes and up or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, so I don't know what this is doing here. Let me just, I don't even know where this, I think, was this optimizer mode? Forget what I was doing here. Whenever this thing is done, that's what I'm going to try. We're going to.
Just FYI, I'm going back to that Friday, because what we looked at was 20% 2-2-2s in the field lineups, or 20% 2-2s in the field lineups. In the actual slate, there are 7% 2s with all one-offs.
Mm-hmm.
And there are 5% 2-2s. So there's still plenty of edge, but it's not the 22%.
But it's not the 22%.
Right. There's plenty of edge. I mean, there's unstacked lineups. There's threes. There's,
So I don't even
assuming the only way there's other ways to get an edge, but assuming the best way to get an edge is from the terrible lineups.
Okay, so let's do this. So the way you do that, okay, first of all, I'm going to upload this. I wonder if you can do this straight from the interface, but so right here, it gives you this toggle here where it says automatically create custom fields from ownership.
Yeah.
So you do that. call this something. So now it's building a field of 5,000 based on my ownerships, but I wonder if it's smart building. You know,
Yeah. I feel like this becomes more powerful with like Showdown if you could do it right.
well, that's why again, that's true too. But that's why it's also very big with MMA and
Yeah.
And tennis. If you can get that right, you know.
If you can get it right, yeah.
MMA. I don't know if you noticed
It was an
winning
11.
the winning lineup was a non-main event game stack.
Really?
Yeah,
It was an 11 fight card, right?
yeah, but it was like with no takedowns. The
How many?
total striking based slugfest between Brandon Royval and Joshua Van. They just went ballistic on each other. The loser.
Oh, that's interesting. And people were fading that because it was going to be all on the feet, right?
Yep, and Royval in a loss had like 160 significant strikes. Like we're 83 at like 8,200 or something.
How many did it dupe? Did the winner dupe?
Yeah, it did. It had 2 people had it.
Yeah, so who knows if it's a plus EV lineup, right?
Right,
I mean,
right. Can
that's
you imagine if you have that and then you dupe it? You know, it's like,
I know.
I mean, you're happy, but geez, that's rough. Because I remember when what's his name, kind of famously when Nerdy Tenor won with like a ridiculous, three round stack. He actually split it with somebody. I mean, how do you do that? I mean, that's like
right.
You deserve a little more for that. I think
it's crazy. I mean, a lineup is great if it's unduped, and then if it's duped, like its EV could be negative.
All right, so it looks as though it's struggling, but where we
go.
Could not build lineups.
Could not build field lineups. Okay.
I don't know what to say.
Our experiment might be over.
Oh, wait, but it's something. Let's just see what it did here. Okay, so it built something, but did it save in the field? Let's just see something. Field lineups. Let me see. No, I don't think it saved. Let me just see something. Do I have a choice to play it? Nah. Midfield. Oops.
I just want to say to Eric Johnson, Tyler Anderson, Chase Dollander, Dick Fitz. We don't know. We're making it through this without a player take.
I don't know anything.
Yeah.
Build. Okay, so look. Oh, here it is. So what you could do, like I said, is you could sim against yourself here, right? And so now what you do, if you use build 3, now this thing that I built before, the 5,000 lineups, this becomes now the field. And you don't necessarily have to build sim against yourself because this is build 3, but I could do a whole other build where I X out 4-mans and whatever it is. And so so you're not exactly comparing yourself to yourself, which is possible.
Right.
And that's what this build 3, this doesn't make any sense. So build 3's got 100% DeGrom, 63%. It's only got 150 lineups. That's not the idea. Okay, let's take a look at FanDuel, and then we'll do some Showdown because that's you're actually playing. Okay.
I mean, I'm not. Yeah. I'm not playing a lot, and when I don't play a lot, I feel, and we've talked about this, that if you're not playing every day, you shouldn't be playing them, more than casually. There's something about day in and day out with some of these sports, baseball, especially NBA, where like you need to have an idea about these rotations and things.
It's funny because like sometimes again when I go away or I come back after like even 4 days, I come back and Bobby and I are talking. He's talking about this is okay. Another of this is I'm like, wait, who is this?
Right.
Oh, this guy already. He smashed at like 3,500 back on Thursday, and then he's like at 5,500. And this because 4 guys were out, and now this guy's like, whoa, what the hell? What did I miss? It's
also the thing you say about getting reps in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you just need to get your reps in every day.
Yeah.
And if you're playing once every 4 or 5 days, I don't know. It just feels like I'm going to screw up. Maybe that's I don't know, not screw up, but like I'm not 100%.
Okay, so with FanDuel, 34,000 is fine. I did not pre-eliminate stuff, so we're just gonna run the Sims here. And listen, for those of you who are joining us late, there's gonna be some definite weather variance tonight. Whether it amounts to anything or not, it's going to be the worst kind. It's going to be like yellow orangey, so you're probably not going to know for a while. Okay, one thing I did not do that again I said I should and I always do is upload my contest. So let's do that. And there's one extra step when you're doing FanDuel. You actually have to go there and then come back here. Where DraftKings, they have it set to just kind of like automatically download it for your computer. So Eric Johnson wants me to tell him why the Rockies' salaries are so low. I know why. You pick me. Pick me. Because they're terrible. They're terrible baseball players. That's why they're low.
Record ever.
That's why they're low. I mean, they're too low. That's for you to find out. That's for you to determine. But that's why they're low. I mean, they're freaking little league baseball players, and 80 and 50% of the time they're completely non-competitive.
Who is pitching for Houston?
I mean,
who we got on Houston? Because they don't look good. Who is it? Colton.
Oh,
Colton
that guy.
Gordon.
Yeah, he's supposed to be good, right?
He's pitching against Colorado.
Yeah,
that's good. Colorado does have a high total for Colorado.
Yeah, they legitimately get streamed against like on the road like every game, but even at home now, it's like.
Yeah. Do you believe? Okay, two questions, related questions. Do you believe that the visiting team to Colorado scores a little less or just has a little less oomph going to the thin air and the first game of their series? Like they're not used to the mile high air. And two, that's got to be caught in the projections, right? At least in the betting markets.
You mean they're just like tired, you mean?
Yeah, they're not used to that.
Like basketball players going into Denver, you mean?
Right, like basketball players going into Denver. Like game one in Colorado is tougher.
So it's very interesting that you put it that way.
I've heard this.
Because the way that most DFS content people couch it is different. They couch it as a big park upgrade, because the day before or 2 days before or whatever, they were playing somewhere else. So that first game is actually considered the best spot because it's the quote unquote upgrade. But
then they go out and score 3 runs and then they're
but to your point, it's still an upgrade on day 2 relative to where they were 2 days before. It's like maybe your point is well, but I don't think I've ever heard it described.
I've heard this. I don't know if empirically it has been proven. So I don't know. That's why and this is a genuine question I have, and you got to think after this many years, if that is a phenomenon that exists, it's captured in the betting markets. Now, to what extent it's captured in
I'll tell you
fantasy
projections. I'll tell you this about FanDuel. I'll tell you who I'm not getting in FanDuel is Jacob deGrom. I'm getting almost zero.
Me either.
I'm getting 22% Shane Baz, 20% Grant Holmes, and 15% Peralta. I mean, literally 6% Jacob deGrom. Only one more lineup than #Tyler Anderson.
I have no Tyler Anderson, but I've got 10% deGrom. And then it's kind of everyone else. I've still got the 32% Springs, 20% Baz, 17% Springer. Yamamoto, then DeGrom, little Gallen, Lorenzen, Peralta.
What about and as far as top stack, I'm getting like every single bit of the Kansas City Royals, it looks like.
Stacks. Let's see. My top 4-man is Cincinnati.
Okay.
Yeah. So to Eric's question about Richard Fitz, on FanDuel, I have none, and I'm going directly up against him on FanDuel. Cincinnati, followed by San Francisco. Then I get to Kansas City, but I like 10%. It's like I'm pretty spread out.
Okay.
Houston.
So, first of all, all right, baseball showdown. Let me put this up here, and we got both sets of lineups in.
Yeah, we're good to go.
And the first thing I look at, well, let me look at. Okay, when I play football showdown, sometimes I kind of cheat. Like I take the projections from like the classic slate, and I just throw it up in there, and then I change the ownership projections. Obviously have to be changed because the ownership is much different.
Yeah.
And baseball, you can do that too. The only thing is different is that if this were part of a classic slate and you uploaded it, like there's one I'll just show you where it is. So this button here, exclude unlisted players. Like if you were going to upload your a custom projection, I usually click that just so that I don't get guys that like are just, for example, like only projected by SaberSim for like 1 point, and I have nowhere else.
But here you need them.
But in Showdown, you need them all. Okay.
Yeah.
So make sure you unclick that. Like to that point, like you look at SaberSim's projections here, like the lowest rated position players are only projected like a couple of points higher than like these guys that are, probably not going to even play. Okay. But they might,
Right.
And if you get a low scoring game and you get an inning with one of these relievers that put up 5 points, or something like that, or even
gets the win.
Yeah. The problem, see, it's so funny. It used to be, I mean, you know better than me, but I used to think that the relievers were always the lowest price.
DraftKings does a terrible job of this, where like if a guy has started a game, they go up to 10,000.
No, I don't mean that. I even mean these 4Ks. I mean,
they're not the min price.
They used to be. No. I mean,
no, that's right. It's crazy.
Yeah.
DraftKings pricing is odd, but I guess it makes it interesting.
Which probably means, I mean, like, I haven't looked at these. You look at more than I do. Like, there's never a reliever that's more than 5% owned, right? Ever, right?
Wait. So that's a good question, and it's the combination that matters. And I'm going to share my screen and show you something just absolutely nuts. Okay, share screen. Okay, where is it? DraftKings. Look at this guy, Justin Topa, reliever.
Oh my God.
1.7% owned. Now look what the winning lineup got. It was 20,000 to first.
Right.
It was duped. The Justin Topa lineup was duped 13 times.
Well, the reason for that, okay, so
the field is too sharp for its own good.
Well, what I was going to say is that this happens in football too, is that sometimes there are certain combinations that if you want to get to them, you have to then have like a $4,000 guy in there.
Right.
So I guarantee you, I don't guarantee you, I bet you this Z Roth guy had like 15 lineups that just like the first 5, and then like had a different guy in the 6th spot.
Right.
I'm just guessing.
Which
like, sometimes.
Yeah, that's right. Here he's got the hitter that only had a walk.
So sometimes, for example, even like in football showdown, when like the top 5 guys are over there, is that almost like okay to have a 0 in like that 6th one, just so that you could get those 5s. So if you're resorted to having these, these 4K guys, I mean, I know It's not that people
But
get
that's got to be
converted.
different in football than baseball, where it's so high variance. I mean,
It is, but I've seen it happen. I've seen it where you get the top like Justin Jefferson and all these guys that everybody wants, and then you're left with like literally 200.
right.
So then you do that, and then
you mix and match all the
like all the
200s.
200s. You know what I mean? And if anybody gets 1 point, you think that oh my god, I'm having a guy like 2% and it's gonna smash. But like you said, from a combination perspective, it's 2% owned, but like all those 2% have the other guys in them.
Right.
It's like so that this is.
But my point is, be careful about that. I mean, I don't know. Maybe this is a plus EV lineup. I don't.
Yeah.
I have my doubts. Right.
All right. So you tell me. So how do we play showdown? Okay. I'm not going to make my own projections. So
no.
So I'm gonna take make one change. Now, do you build a full 2,000? I mean, for opening?
Are you on my screen?
No, I'm not. I'm on your. I'm on. Well, I'm sharing your screen.
Okay. I'm
gonna do stuff like you would do, so I can see what you're doing here.
Okay, I'm gonna get. I don't know. I might get made fun of for this.
So you go up to 5,000, huh?
Yeah, I don't see any reason not to.
Okay, it's so funny because it defaults to 2. I just figured that was the maximum. Okay.
But no, you could build 5,000. I don't. I mean, you're going to get bad ones in there.
Well, why not? Right, like you said.
Yeah, or you're not. But you're going to get others. Now, I don't know. I'm going to get I might get laughed at for this, but I think you're supposed to play the starting pitchers and the captain when it's not absolutely huge. When it's like 2,000 entries, I still think you're supposed to play the pitchers. I think if you're not, you could look for value in the home run props.
Well, what do you get organically? Like, what do you get when you just run the stuff?
Oh, you get a lot of them, but I'm going to demand more.
Okay.
Look what I did here on min exposure. I want half my lineups with Fried captain and half my lineups with Gaussman.
Oh, so there you have it, huh? Or I mean, what you could do if you wanted to is you could just go min 1 in the captain, those 2.
I can make a rule, yeah, but it works either way. And this is going to slow down the builder for sure.
That's right. But these 2 guys, these are.
Yeah, I don't think. They're going to be probably higher owned than this, but who knows?
These guys get 25 fantasy points. I mean, it's.
I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm wrong about this, and
the reason
ownership and everything. But I just feel like if I'm if I'm going to play Stanton in the captain, it's because he's going to hit a home run and maybe something else.
Well, not even now. Let's just visualize this. I mean, if I maybe this is dumb, but I would flip a coin with somebody for all the money in the world for either of these pitchers straight up against Aaron Judge, who's like only 1,000 less. You know what I mean?
That's right.
It's like ridiculous. I mean, I'll give 12 to 10 with Fried versus Judge all day long. You know?
Yeah.
And even with respect to ceiling, I can't. What's Judge really gonna get? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
He'll get 140-point game like a year, maybe, or something like that, and then he'll have some zeros. Where Max Fried is just he'll put up 35 every once in a while, and he'll never get a 0. That's like so. So maybe we're just supposed to X out Aaron Judge. How about that? Like it's.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're playing
like these are ridiculous prices, right? You think about it, I suppose.
It really is for a hitter.
Yeah.
Look at it this way. Just here, I'm on Pinnacle.
To that point, by the way, I just ran stuff just with Saber score or whatever. Get 7% Aaron Judge, and in the utility, 56 Max Fried, 53% Gaussman, and the captain, literally all of 26% Fried. 39% Gaussman. You're contending that that's too low almost. You know what I
mean? I am.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm, the trust the Sims. I'm a trust the process kind of guy. Trust the Sims.
Well, I mean, you just change the process.
But I changed the process. But just look at the odds. The odds of this game going under 4.5 runs are 17%. That's pretty freaking high. Like, the odds of it going under 6% are like 30 under 6 runs is like 33%, 30%, something like that.
What do you think of this? I mean, you run the Sims though, and I'm getting then if I run the Sims, I'm getting 88% Gaussman in the captain.
Yeah,
and like 0 Freed.
This happens a lot.
Okay.
I've noticed that I've noticed with these that SaberSim likes to put the SP2 over the SP1, but now they have higher ownership on Gaussman in the captain, so I'm a bit surprised at that. I noticed that like the lower owned pitching captain in SaberSim tends to grade really well in the simulations.
Well, that's
I'm running Sims here. Then I'm going to take this off. All right. I don't think, can I get 2,000 positively graded lineups? No.
You know what? I'm not getting any of them. I'm not getting any relievers.
Really?
Not a dime.
Let's see what I got. I've got, it wouldn't let me do it completely, right? My pool still has like 3 lineups of it just doesn't have enough.
There's not enough combinations, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see relievers. I've got some. I've got Brandon Little. I'm at 15% Brandon Little. 6.5% Jeff Hoffman. And just a bunch of all the other guys. But now look at my screen. So like you got to look at the bullpen usage. So you're going to get Hoffman in lineups. So if you get Hoffman in lineups, it's a dead lineup. He's not pitching. He threw 22 pitches yesterday and 14 pitches the day before.
Who is this?
Hoffman and Little, right? So I have 15% Brendan Little. But now look at it. There's no way he's pitching today.
And that's because he pitched yesterday.
He's pitched 2 days in a row. He pitched 20 pitches. I mean, there's not no way, but the chances of him getting in this game are low. Right?
And those are the rules. You don't pitch more than 2 games in a row? Okay.
Maybe in the play. I mean,
I have no idea. I literally have no idea.
There's no rules, but you rarely see.
Okay. Well,
especially if he threw. It's not like he threw like no pitches.
So, I mean, technically what you're supposed to do is go here first, see what relievers are dead and like X them out.
No, I disagree.
Okay.
Because you still want the game script where the reliever comes in.
No, what I'm saying though,
you just want to replace the reliever.
But what I'm saying is if you X those out, then you get game scripts where the other relievers come in, don't you?
Well, okay, you could get that, but the problem is it doesn't know from the relievers. If it knew from the relievers,
I see.
You wouldn't have Brendan Little in the first place. So what Brendan Little is their lefty specialist.
So you could just basically like go with what SaberSim recommends and just swap out for a reliever.
Exactly. Okay. So you take Brendan Little and you say, okay, in those Brendan Little lineups, I want a global swap out to I don't know, Chad Green or Yimi Garcia or whoever, right? Because they have not pitched. So, and it's the same with Jeff Hoffman here. I mean, he's thrown 36 pitches over the last 2 days. He's not coming in. So you still want the script where the guy who's going to close this game comes in. Okay, it's not Garcia, he's IL. So Chad Green is the next in line on their depth chart, and he's a righty. The other thing you could do is you could say, okay, Brendan Little is their lefty. Who's their other lefty? It's Brule. So you could say, okay, in these game scripts where the Brendan Little lefty matchup comes in, just swap it to Brule if the price is right, and it should be.
So it looks as though, again, we're looking at these are Toronto guys, right?
Yeah.
So Toronto guys, you have the top projected are Little, like you said. So. And then Rodriguez is a starter. So it looks like either Brule, Chad Green, or Sandin, I guess.
Yeah. I don't think you're not using Jeff Hoffman and you're not using Little.
I'm kind of inclined to put like minimum 5% of all 3 of those guys.
Yeah. No, we could do the same thing. You have to do it for the Yankees too.
Well, we're doing that next. Okay, so
Yeah.
so that's those are those guys. And now what about the Yankees here? Who do we got here? Let's take a look at the same site.
Okay, so Yankees. So Hamilton's available. Brubaker's available. Lois Sega is not available. Tim Hill is probably not available.
Okay.
Leiter is available, but you know, my inclination is to think teams want to avoid pitching them 2 games in a row if they don't have to. But Leiter's available.
So
Right? And Leiter's the Weaver's the closer. So Weaver definitely available.
what do we say about Brubaker?
Brubaker
Oh
was
no, he's a
available.
starter. He's one of those guys. Okay.
He's his price.
He's the 10K guy, and sometimes they'll give you those guys. By the way.
Yeah. Now, this is a question with Tim Hill. Tim Hill's the lefty, right? So, who comes in? Like, I don't know that they have another lefty, which is also interesting from a pinch hit perspective.
What about Devin Williams? Does he pitch ever?
Does he pitch? Yeah, he's their setup guy.
Okay.
His chances of getting in this game are high, right? Because he hasn't gotten work in 3 days.
And he only has like a 0.6 projection, so no one's going to play him ever.
Right, he's not going to get in. People that use SaberSim are not going to get him.
And what'd you say about Leiter?
Leiter's available, I'd say. I mean, he's their setup guy. They use him. You know, he pitched yesterday, but he could pitch again.
I've been to 3 Yankee games, and each time that Hamilton's gotten just destroyed.
He's available. Now, one thing that is interesting about this is the Yankees don't have another lefty reliever besides Tim Hill. And Tim Hill pitched 2 days in a row. So I would imagine they try and avoid using him a 3rd day in a row, even though he didn't throw a lot of pitches.
Right.
Which means the pinch hit risk on Toronto is quite low. Right? Is there a lefty? Who's starting for the Yankees? But Fried's a lefty.
Yes.
Okay, so never mind. But I don't think we're seeing Tim Hill in this game. So I don't know. This is my process. I mean,
yeah, I like it. I like it. I really like it. Now again, this is like dumb. You don't do anything with salaries, I presume, right?
I set it at 0.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It defaults to like 4,400.
No, what I mean is like you don't worry if you get 50,000, right?
Oh, I don't worry about it, but I am worried about like these combinations where like the Justin Topa reliever gets duped 13 times. So I do worry about that a little. So it is maybe some reason to lower salary or whatever, but I don't worry about it. Maybe I should.
So Max Fried is where is the Max Fried? I'm not getting any Max Fried at all.
How many lineups you running?
Did I like X him out or something? I can't even find him when I search for him. Where'd he go? Is he not playing somehow? Did he get pulled?
No.
There's no way, right? I only have Toronto selected. So.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Fried, I have 50. Yeah, that's what I said before. So 99% of these guys in the utility and 67% in the captain.
Yeah.
And now you're not worried about having. Okay, so the more a starter's in there, the less relievers come in.
Okay, the less relievers come in, but the more they can outscore the hitters. I mean, presumably, if the starters the hitters did shitty.
Right.
So
that's true. So probably too much Aaron Judge. Look at this, zero Jazz Chisholm. Okay, that's fine. Like
I'll tell you another thing. I like to have a lot of control. I like to look at my lineups after with the relievers and think about the game script that they're in, if that makes sense.
Right.
So like, I don't like if Fried is in the flex, I don't know that I want Weaver, for example, in that lineup because he's the closer. And my thinking is that Fried reaches his ceiling in a win, which makes it harder for Weaver to get the win.
True.
Now, I don't know, though. The play-by-play sim should theoretically take care of that. But I don't know how well they handle the relievers and their position and things, right? So I don't know. I just feel like if I have I want my relievers to have shots at the win. But maybe that's way overthinking it.
So does Davis Schneider at 3K
I know.
is
So
getting jammed here.
That's the other thing that's tough about this is it used to be the minimum price for a hitter was 4K, which was the same as a reliever.
That's what I was saying before.
Yeah.
You know. So let's crank the sims here. So what I did was for those relievers, I put min 5%, and then when I did that, I was getting like 19% of one of them. So I did max 10. I just want a little sprinkle.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll sprinkle those. And then all these dudes. So the captains. Yeah, each time I run the sims, it becomes all of this Gausman and the captain like no free.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what I would do is just like use uniques or something. Either use uniques or just force in some Fried. I mean, I don't know.
Just go for just go for a nice
or just go for it. Yeah.
Low scoring, or go for a nice low scoring game and just go with the Sabre score.
Right.
JC Escaria, all these guys under 4K are going to be jammed here.
Yeah, I know that SaberSim is averages and not medians, but you look at the over on the Yankees. I mean, it's under 4.5 on their implied total. SaberSim has 4.9, and a huge difference between them and Toronto, I guess. But they have Toronto. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to know how to interpret SaberSim's.
All right, I think we did enough.
Yeah, we've done plenty.
I think we did plenty. I'll be around later, and let's take down the showdown.
All right, yeah. Good luck.
All right, see you later, man.
See ya.